We've all heard the S&P has a lot of big returns concentrated around the holidays, and now that it's Thanksgiving coming up, I wanted to check this out. So the thing is, when you look at the seasonality chart here, this is the just regular seasonality chart, you can see that around the Thanksgiving area, there's a bit of a boost, but because Thanksgiving is always coming on different days, we have to actually get those actual Thanksgiving days and put them in here, and this is exactly what this is doing. And so we can see that in the last 5 years, at least, we've had quite a run-up. This is a pretty big run up here in the few days before Thanksgiving, and then we get a bit of a dump after Thanksgiving. So this is just for the last 5 years, and you can check 2 years, 1 year, and you can change if you want to see 3 years or whichever year. But anyway, this day here, Thanksgiving, it is the close of the day after Thanksgiving, because obviously Thanksgiving the market is closed, and for all these events that we have here, the event is the close of the day if the market's open, and if the market's not open that day, then it's the close of the following day. So, for example, this will always be that Friday after Thanksgiving, and we see negative 0.46. Look at these hit rates here for the 2 days before Thanksgiving. So this move here would be what happens on the Tuesday, or the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, right? So this number here would be the returns from close of Tuesday to close of Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and then this would be the close of Wednesday to the close of Friday, right? So this is the same return that you would see if you were looking at the market and it was 3:59 p.m. on the day after Thanksgiving. You would see this return if this was the average return, if the return happened to be the average. And so is this enough evidence to think of maybe there's a Thanksgiving effect? Well, we can look, and we can try to look at more years here. So 1 year is really not enough to really make any judgments. But you can put 3 years in here if you want to put, say, 2020. And obviously, if you want a higher history, you can do the trial. But this is 4 years. There's 4 events, 4 Thanksgivings, and so it's interesting because this seasonality chart, right? It's like a different transformation of the dates, essentially, because by looking at the seasonality chart, it's impossible to determine the effect of Thanksgiving, simply as I said, because what I said, the dates are different every time. And so here you can see the monthly returns for the S&P. So these bars right now, currently on the site, are not changing for the event. So if I just put, say, I don't know, whatever, 4th of July or something, these bars are it's pretty clear if you look at it. It's the months, right? It's always just like the monthly returns. So you see 4th of July, but that's not interesting right now because we're not in that season. But Christmas is coming up. We have a lot of holidays coming up here. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, right? And by the way, if you're confused about something, you can look here at the notes. It's a little bit hard to read, but basically, from what I said before about how we define the date. So this would be, obviously the market's closed on 4th of July, so this would be the day after 4th of July. However, there should be two kind of obvious exceptions to this, just from the fact that we've got New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So for example, Christmas Eve, the only 2 exceptions are Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So for that, we're going to look at the day before. So obviously, this is a little bit tedious, but you kind of have to do this. You have to be tedious if you want to really know the effects of the holidays and get it right. Because when you look at these averages, if you screw it up, you're going to have the wrong numbers. So basically, the way you do it is, the way I've done it is, so when we're looking at Christmas Eve, right? So what would happen if Christmas Eve, which we define to be December 24th, what if that was on a Sunday, right? Then according to that definition of where it's the day after, if it's not a trading day, then Christmas Eve return would be the same thing as the Christmas Day return, because obviously the market would be closed on the 25th. But then it would be maybe the 26th it would be open, and so your Christmas Eve and your Christmas Day holiday would be the same day. But that's not what you want. We want to know essentially the returns of the market when, for the actual what we think of as Christmas Eve in the market, which would be the day, the previous trading day. So the last trading day before Christmas, essentially. So Christmas Eve is not just the next day if the market's closed. No, Christmas Eve is the day, the last trading day before Christmas, and New Year's Eve is the last trading day of the year, basically. And then you have New Year's Day, which is going to be the first trading day of the year, and that's going to be the first trading day of the year. So you can think of it that way. It's a little tedious, but if you really want to know, this platform is for people who want to know the real numbers here and be able to quickly just determine what the market did on Thanksgiving and not be confused about what the actual days are.